if a woman likes security and stability and a man is not providing that, she's undoubtedly going to find a way to get it herself. And it's exactly the same. And because men don't cheat with the intent to move on, most of the time it's just satisfying a craving, not justifying it. That's typically the reality of it. And a woman don't even see getting financial help outside of the household as financially cheating, or hiding money as financially cheating. Although it is, she view that as a need and something that she has to be fulfilled. What's going on is The Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast, America's fastest growing podcast. The universe's fastest growing podcast. We encourage y'all to get 1% better every single day and every single way. And I'm extremely excited today, as always, because we are still on our home set, or one of them, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the home set. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. We're trying to figure it out. But it is one of the premier home sets at home. And I'm also excited to be joined by my guy, Mr. Right on Q Live. How you feeling today, good brother?
I'm good. You know, a little annoyed by some of these takes, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
But other than that, I'm feeling good.
All right, there we go. As long as you're feeling good. And big shout out to our sponsors, man. And as y'all know, before we get to our sponsor, he's talking about these musical tips. We've been talking about songs, and we won't go too far into it, but I'll state my stance, and we'll let it fly, let it land where it need to land. But before we get all the way into it, big shout out to our sponsors. If you're wondering who care, Q, who cares?
We care.
We care. Make sure you give a We Care Home Health Agency for all of your home care needs, both skilled and non-skilled, from pediatric all the way up to senior care. You can contact them directly at 267-940-8509. Once again, 267-940-8509. And they are in the Philadelphia area, but they also serve all surrounding counties. So if you got questions, concerns, no, not concerns, you got questions, need information and interest, just hit that number and make sure you let them know the Wolf sent you, Q sent you, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast has sent you. And yeah, let's get it.
All right. Restake your claim.
Voted as the best R&B song in the last 14 years.
You want to make it even 15?
No.
All right, 14. That's
I'm keeping. I said 14. All I'm not changing my stance. First I said 10, and I went on to think a little bit. I'm like, you know what? 14 years.
Double down.
Voted as the best R&B song for a multitude of reasons. It's the production. It's the approach. It's the feel. It was immediately impactful. I did not hear any other takes when I developed my opinion or my feel for it. I immediately said, oh, this is the best R&B song I've heard in a while. And as I started to hear it more and think more about it, I realized, I'm like, yo, I might have didn't hear nothing better than this in the last 14 years.
And the other fact you said, which I thought was valid, was also the
versatility. It's the fact that it's a club banger, and the fact that it's widely regarded by both men and women, children and adults, and, you know, people who may be music heads or people like myself who are just casuals. And even with my casual stance, because I don't listen to a lot of music, I listen to enough music to know that nothing hit as hard as this. And we've talked about other titles, and it was, that was a good moment.
Okay, can I?
Yeah, present your state. Yeah.
So, as a very objective, savvy listener with a deep bag,
just because you put objective in front of your opinion don't change the fact that it's your opinion. I'm objective as well.
I didn't say you wasn't. Why are you feeling attacked?
No, I didn't feel attacked at all. I'm just saying you emphasized objective as to say like it was the first time it presented itself.
I didn't say it that way.
You're not going to gaslight me. You said.
I'm speaking.
He said as an objective. What's the preface for?
I'm speaking by myself after I introduce my claim.
So what's the preface for? Why preface?
Same way you said, you know, I may not listen to a lot of music, but I know, like you said it about yourself.
I didn't say I was objective or like it's just.
That's how you describe yourself, sir.
Okay.
As I was really interrupted trying to describe myself as an objective, savvy music listener with a deep bag. The point about, and the reason why I said objective actually because even when I'm not maybe on the wave of something, I can identify saying, oh no, that's a wave though. I'm not saying like, if I don't like it, that shit ain't there. Like some people are truly like that because they're not objective. Like, so I remember when I first came across Fold, even if I heard it, I just heard gas. Yeah. And usually songs got to build up to gas. Yeah. Like the first time I was introduced to the song, it was like, this is amazing. This is the greatest shit. I'm like, Kalani got one of these? Like, okay, whatever. All right, I'll get around to it. So when I finally heard it, I said, oh, no, this is a good song. Cool. But I just wasn't moved by it. Cool. over time, the gas didn't continue. Like,
and then 87 to 89.
Right, I started seeing niggas, like you said, niggas going crazy singing it, and women in the video, got all this shit. I remember it was a whole thing. I'm like, interesting.
And then it won a Grammy?
It won a Grammy recently. Yeah. So I'm like, fair, dope, I respect it. However, when I hear the takes, like, greatest song since this, R&B this, I'm like, yo, my nigga. And the first song I thought about when you said it, I'm like, that song better than Usher's Climax? Like, that came out in the last 14 years. And I'm like, boy, ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. Now, the counter of the versatility, I'll concede that. I think that's fair. Yeah. But I think just an R&B song, I'm taking Usher's Climax 100% for sure. And some other ones I picked was Her Damage. I think they have like similar type of trajectories, like two artists, not superstars, boom, hits,
not
whatever.
Versatile enough.
Cool. But I think I would pick that as well. Ricky ended up throwing his hat in the ring with Money Long. Made for You.
Yeah, I said that was a close second.
He's like, all right,
yeah,
close, but not enough.
Yeah, that was close. Because that...
And I said I would take that as well,
It
though.
definitely was pushed on us by way of it trending.
Right.
But regardless, that's an amazing record.
Yep.
And then even Hours and Hours for the same artist. And
I'm taking both those.
No.
I'm taking both of them.
No. I gave Made for You a close second because, again, impactful, versatile. Won't say it hit as hard, but it did hit hard.
And then I also said, no guidance should count in this conversation of an R&B song.
No, because there's all types of rapping and all types of melodic and all that. No, because you compare No Guidance to Climax.
Yeah. It's Chris Brown's song.
Mr. Objectiveness. Like,
literally, it's Chris Brown's song. The best part is like Chris Brown is singing.
So you would compare No Guidance to Climax?
I just know it's an R&B song.
No, would you compare No Guidance to Climax?
I'm literally doing it right now.
So you're comparing it?
Yeah.
So which one is better?
As like which one? No Guy's one of the best songs ever. His best songs is
which one is better?
Two light skinned niggas, mutants, Voltron created a perfect song.
I think
and Chris Brown's better song. I'm on the record.
More like a vibe type of song. It's not really like
a versatile
love song type shit. Where though I feel like or making love. It's not neither. It's really just like setting the mood. So where the Folded is more like a love breakup, whatever, and even Climax is more like making love. Made for You is more love. So all of the other songs just fit in that pocket. I just don't see where No Guidance fit for you to try to like throw that out there. I think that's like a long shot. But going back to your Climax comparison, the fact that you got to go 14 years to find a song just proves my point. Because even if it don't beat out Climax, it's still in a 14-year window. You can't find nothing that's relatively on the spectrum of what Folded is production-wise, lyrics, the feel, the bridge. Like it just got. I told you, it got a late 90s, early 2000s feel, and it just was made 25 years later. That's what's up.
Well, honestly, again, not to get too deep into the bag of splitting hairs, the reason why I start saying stuff like Damage or Climb is because I'm thinking about also singles. And now to your point, I think Folded still deserves credit because I think that's when you get into like how great something is. Because
Climax won a Grammy.
I don't know actually something.
Because I know you was Mr.
But
it
was a big single. It was a notable song, whatever. Yeah, so I'm saying I'm not going to pick a fucking B-side on the type shit, whatever. Yeah. Like, but I say no, Chris Brown track number 32 on the double disc. No, I'm not going to do that. Like, so I'm trying to think of singles, whatever. So, but again, I think to your point though, that's how great the song is in the moment because it got the Grammy. Everybody hear about it, men and women, kids and adults. Like, that's a great.
The moment I heard it, I immediately said, "What the fuck?" And I played it 500,000 times.
Yeah, shout out.
I'm not even.
I definitely respect it.
Yeah, and I'm not even a music head. Like you know me, bro. I'm super riding Silence Ball.
Absolutely.
But that song, I had to give it. I'm like, yeah, like this is a hit. Like you know when it's one. And again, them other songs we mentioned, they my shit. Like I fuck with them songs as well. But it's just the standalone value. I just can't give it.
You also said possibly Snooze, Scissor Snooze.
Oh, I said that's.
And I wonder what y'all would say, P. Where does Scissor Snooze? How does that compare?
Because that's a great record.
Yeah.
Like, and I even threw Snow Allegra in there. You going?
I'm taking a lot of Snow songs.
But I just feel like again they did like it got to cross pockets. Like it has to cross pockets because it becomes our personal favorite if we keep it in one pocket. It's like. Somebody that's like, who's the greatest shooter of all time? Okay, we know who the greatest shooter of all time is, but when you start talking about who the greatest basketball player, all the other variables come into play. It's like, all right, cool. How much do we value shooting? To all of this, to the defense, to this, to that. So it's like, cool. Like, that's how I look at when we focus on the Snows or the Scissors or the Hers. It's like them songs fell deeply into those pockets of great songs. But when we start saying like, but is it a club banger? Like, is it gonna move the men as much as it move the women? Is children singing as much as the adults? And it's like, yeah, it get real niche after a while. It gets very niche because I don't know all the words to them songs, but I can sing folded a cappella with the beat. I can harmonize it. I can say the riffs. I know the ad libs. I know the background vocals. It's a great song. Let's get into it now.
All righty then. On the slight pivot on a note of folding clothes, whatever. Cheating.
Nah, shit. You trying to say from folding clothes to burning clothes.
Once upon a time, Wolf Jimmy, you should never make cheating about you. It's never about you.
We're gonna start fact checking cues.
That's not. Yeah, that was not something you said.
Yeah,
I didn't say verbatim.
All right, cool. Yeah, just stop.
I didn't say that. Something.
You're not allowed to quote me no more. Yeah. We gotta fact check his quote before we start. Nigga would say, yeah, because you said don't take care of your kids unless. Nigga, I didn't say nothing like that.
I remember that episode actually.
Yeah, like and the nigga made it up.
Episode 22. But my question is, you know, if somebody wants to go with the logic of like you shouldn't make cheating about you, which I understand that in a vacuum. I counter that. Where I think sometimes you shouldn't make it about you. And of course, that cheating is the act of a person. They're going to do what they decide to do, whatever. But I think sometimes people, you contribute to that. So I was curious to hear your further thoughts about that. Because, you know, if, you know, a woman with a man or a man with a woman, and you're not doing, I think we all have duties in the relationships. So I feel if you aren't fulfilling your duties and it's been communicated or whatever it is, or, you know, prime example, classic show, Insecure. Of course, once it got left and all that shit, whatever, Issa did what she did. I'm a feminist. Cool, fair. Point is, the guy didn't have a job for 5 years. He forgot her birthday 2 years in a row. She ended up fucking another nigga, whatever. It went left.
I've seen tidbits of it.
Right.
Because at the time, I felt like whoever I was in, depending on the year, I believe the girl I was in a relationship was watching that though.
I mean, yeah. So, of course, once you cheat, it's like, you a whore, you did it wrong, you did the acts. But I'm just like, not having a job for 5 years, you in depression state, you forgot the birthday 2 years in a row. Like, forgetting a girl's birthday once is kind of like,
so you
wow.
saying it's justified?
No, I just think you brought it up on yourself and you got to hold the L.
So I think when I say don't make it about you, I think we coming from two different POVs.
Okay, talk to me.
If it's a self-reflecting state where it's like, what could I have done better to contribute to this not happening? I think that's fair. That's in the Art of Accountability, my second book. You know what I mean? Where though cheating, not cheating, my first book. But as far as not making it about you, it's just to say don't internalize it like I wasn't enough. Or even like feeling like, you know, it's because I wasn't working or it's because I forgot because those are individual acts. Your accountability is, damn, I could have been performing better. And you should take that and consider. But that doesn't necessarily exempt or prevent the action. It don't make it justified, nor do it make it a thing where it's like your actions could have stopped it. A person cheated because they wanted to cheat. And
you'll never... I'm sorry, finish it up.
No, I was gonna say. No, go ahead. I'm curious to say.
Cause you said just because if you did have a job, that would mean that
it don't necessarily mean it was gonna stop her from cheating.
Right, but I guess also the point is you will never know.
Yeah,
because in your mind you can say, I mean, well, they never
could have happened because I did. Yeah. It's like if somebody cheated and then get cheated on. They can easily say, well, you cheated because I cheated. That's the easy identifier, but that's not always the case because it's people that get cheated on and just leave. Like it's no such thing as cheating back.
Right.
You can only cheat two. So any action is isolated. You cheated, this person cheated. There's no I cheated on you because you cheated on me. It seems like an act of retaliation, but if somebody steal from the store, like, oh, you stole from them because they stole from us. These are two individual crimes. And like, oh shit, rule it out. This way is okay. Okay, is a tally on both sides is equal. No, you're going to jail, you're going to jail. Y'all both stole. So the same thing when it comes to cheating. It's like
two different trials and everything.
Two completely different trials. Like they don't give a fuck. There are not. It might be taken into some type of consideration, but I guarantee you it has no impact on the sentencing. Just flat out. It's well, y'all two thieves. So it's just two cheaters. Like that's just what it comes down to. It's not like, oh well, I'm exempt from what I did because you did it first. Nah. If you hit somebody and they hit you back, this is considered a fight.
Fair.
It's not just like, oh, well, you know, it is self-defense and all types of other variables to it, but it's still a fight.
Self-defense cheating.
Well, that's what you want to call it. It's
like
still cheating, though.
Yeah. Cause, you know, I feel
self-defense cheat. Get the fuck out of here. Get nobody. Don't start no term. Have somebody, I did it out of self-defense. Protecting myself. It happened to me first.
Because, like, you know, in the same breath, women always going to say, all men cheat, all men ain't shit, all men are dogs, whatever. But at the same time, a lot of women, not most, not all, but a lot of women fall into the cycle of not fulfilling their duties sexually, whatever. You know, there's not too many women that will say my husband's not fucking me enough or not doing things enough. But there's a lot of men that will say it about their wives. 100%. And I just think, I don't understand it's even possible, to be honest. Like it's like I can understand being with someone that I don't want to have sex with a lot. Yeah. And if I'm not doing that, again, it's still an individual act for her to do something. Yeah. But I feel like you're not doing your fucking job, nigga. So
to that point, right? I think that's a very, it's common, it's valid, and I could unpack the initial point of like where the lack of interest can come from. Mm-hmm. But the other side to it, just to the outcome itself, is just like when we talk about our duties. If a man is being sexually deprived and he steps out, is almost inevitable, but I'm not going to say it's warranted, right? In reverse, it's like if a man is not fulfilling his financial responsibilities and a woman goes and seek financial help from her dad or her brother or her male friend or her girlfriend, whatever the case may be, because of what we value in a relationship and what we get rewarded behind the thing that, you know, we do for our duty, sex is a part of that. Like, I'm not taking care of you because it's fun. I'm taking care of you because, for one, I love you, and for two, I'm getting sex out of it. Like, that's just the transaction of the relationship. And in reverse, if a woman likes security and stability and a man is not providing that, she's undoubtedly going to find a way to get it herself. And it's exactly the same. And because men don't cheat with the intent to move on, most of the time it's just satisfying a craving, not justifying it. That's typically the reality of it. And a woman don't even see getting financial help outside of the household as financially cheating, or hiding money as financially cheating. Although it is, she view that as a need and something that she has to be fulfilled, and a man feel the same way about his sexual desires. So I won't measure that against each other, like, oh, a man go cheat, then a woman go cheat physically for her, because women naturally aren't inclined to operate like that. Not saying they're not doing it, but it's just not their first reaction, their first resort. But when it comes to finances, they're not questioning twice. If it's like they about to get evicted, they like, fuck all that. We need to find a way to get this money. I'm calling whoever. They will call an ex, a baby dad, a brother, a cousin, whoever, to get help. And they won't see that as cheating. They'll see that as satisfying whatever that void that was being left. And they say, well, you wasn't doing it. It's the same philosophy. You ain't doing it. I always say, I'm not going to say a woman could go outside the house and get money, but if you're not providing, she's going to do that. I'm not saying a man could go out the house and get sex, or should, but if you're not giving it to him, he's probably going to do that. Like, and both of y'all are going to come back to the relationship not feeling like y'all did nothing wrong because y'all being deprived. Where though in reverse is like, if a man was to go step out to try to move on, or if a woman was to go fuck off, that's like a higher level of a conversation, because the intent changes everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it really come down to. Like, was you doing this to fulfill a temporary urge, which, you know, it's still not justified, but it just identifies differently. And if you're actually trying to leave your fucking partner. For sure. And if you're going to go get help because you felt like you need it, you know, that's different than you skimming off the top of the budget. And I got the secret savings that most women have. All of y'all here financially cheating and be keeping it tall. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, you watching this as a woman, you have a savings that your man don't know about. Some type of offshore account. And that's financially cheating. The fuck? Like, you don't want to call it that, but that's what it is. You're cheating your spouse out of the opportunity to know the resources you have available to be able to make decisions. Maybe you don't trust his decision making, or maybe you just don't know if y'all all the way locked in, and he might have gave you reason to feel like it's uncertain. So you're like, yeah, if he ever try to burn this boat, I got another boat to the side. He not gonna know nothing about it. That's cheating.
For me and my kids.
For me and my kids, 100%. Even the ones that ain't here yet, you just gonna make that plan. And the thing about it is, they don't understand how foul that is. Like, that's foul. That's legit foul. And they see nothing wrong with it. They like, how is that foul? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is my money? It's like, yeah, but he should know about it. And it's like, the fact that you don't want him to know about it says everything. Like,
and a lot of men would be like, okay. All right,
yeah. Like, and for the man that might want to tap into it, you know, he might have a valid reason. But, you know, I tell you all the time, I don't think men should get money from women. Like, I just don't think they should do it. I think, like, they call it pride, call it whatever you want. Unless she offers it on her own without any type of subtle suggestion, request, proposal, I wouldn't even say accept it. And if she offer it, make sure that it's her, like, wanting. It's like when they want to take you to dinner. I'll accept that. But I'm not going to hint at us going to dinner. You know how you be like, yo, you want to go to dinner? It's not in the budget. I'm cool. I'll pay. Let's go to dinner. But it's not like, oh, well, we're going to dinner today. It's your turn to pay. Like, none of that. They got to they want flexible responsibilities, so they have to feel like it's their decision, and they'll feel good about it. But if they feel like they got to contribute 30, 40, 50% every month, they're going to nag, complain, and, just girl about it.
Gotcha. Recently, I was thinking about, I've always appreciated your account of, like, you and your dad's relationship, how, you had to learn to mature, to understand his perspective, give him grace and shit like that, whatever. You and your mom relationship mature because of that, boom, boom, whatever. So recently, I was aware of a relationship between a dude went to jail for a long time, his kids, of course, without him for 20 years or whatever. And since then, now that he's home, he's been dealing with, of course, the residual effects of that absence. And people that are close to him have been, so in that dealing with the residual effects is some of the kids are more receptive, some of them aren't. And of course he's not at peace with that because, he want all his kids to be on the same page, all his kids do this and that, whatever. Don't be mad at me, don't be, combative with me, whatever. And of course he keeps trying, but he also is human. He gets frustrated.
Yeah.
So one person I was talking to saying, you did a lot when you was inside, even under those conditions. Now you out, you always cared. And it was kind of like not fuck the kids, but like fuck the kids, like type thing, whatever. And I was like, I think what they're not accounting for is that it's the not shame, but the guilt of not being there and knowing what transpired and whatever they had to do, whatever condition they had to deal with you not being there. So you probably never gonna escape that guilt in your mind, whatever. Yeah. So even though they being an asshole to you,
doubling down.
Yeah, that it's your fault. I feel like me personally, I think with parents and kids, of course, like no kid is no one should just for no real reason to be a fucking asshole. Yeah. But like I believe
these sound like adults.
They adults, yeah. But I believe that for the most part, if you're the parent, it is your duty to make things right. I think that's your responsibility of a person whose life you created. Yeah. If it's something off, it's for you to resolve. And if you stop, that's for you to be like, it's not getting resolved then. And because in the day, no matter how grown they are, it's still your fucking kid, whatever. So I think it's your responsibility to have like more of the effort to make sure it's resolved, whatever. Yeah. So I said what to say. I was curious of your point about, I think what they not doing is, of course, the kid not giving him grace. Yeah. And he's not giving himself grace of like, it's 20 years. Yeah. I'm going to say it'll take 20 years to fix it, but it's going to take less than 2. Yeah. And I think, I was curious of like, how, what's your advice for people to deal with that and just, being adults and navigating those type of obstacles and conditions.
I legitimately wrote about the same scenario in The Art of Accountability. I don't have the verbatim reference that I made, but in totality, I know the point that I was making. And I think that you took a stance already. I think it's valid. I can respect that. I can understand being somebody's son, how that can look. But my POV in totality is a hybrid of like, yes, I do think that as parents, it's on us to initiate, but I think the receptivity determines the length of the effort. Like when you say like the other person, like, yo, he should just say, fuck it. It's like, how much time do you spend chasing down adults to try to make them understand your POV if they're not being receptive to it? And I think that it's on the kids to give that opportunity if he's trying to make amends, especially if it wasn't that designated trauma from him, like he beat the shit out you or stole you, like put fucking cable in your name or did some like wild shit to you as a kid, and you was like, nah, I just really don't fuck with my pop. But if it's just literally because of his absence, I think that's just immature. It says a lot more about self that needs to be worked on to say like, even if I feel like, because it's not like he's saying I'm waiting on y'all to hit me up. If a motherfucker is taking on onus within self to initiate the line of mending, like making amends, and you kind of keep trying to draw the line or like stop the line from producing, then at that point it do become a point like, all right, I did what I could, because it's not on me to kiss your ass. It's on me to state where I could grow, what I could have did differently, and how I'm going to do it moving forward, because we can't go back and change nothing that transpired. This is how we can rectify and move forward. And if you blocking all of my shot attempts, then I'm going to just stop putting shots up. And you going to have to eventually reflect and realize, because that's what kids will do. Like, they'll try to guilt trip you and just like make you suffer for whatever they feel like they suffer for. Like, you wasn't there, so now I want to make you feel what I was feeling. But they're just like, I got time for that. Like, we all grown. It's like, I'm not making my pop suffer for the fact that he was in jail 85% of my life. And the time, my dad, I don't even want to make this statement because I don't even want it to be mistaken, but my dad, if I could have a lot of resentment, why would I? Man to man, it's just like, I learned that he's a good dude. He was young. He ain't know no better. And I've been young. And I didn't know no better. And although I was in my kids' lives, there's still decisions that I made that I realized that I had to accept early. Like, you know, like my kids might have things to say, but I know that they won't be able to say certain things. And I'm okay with that. Like, of course, for their interpretation, they might be like, well, my dad moved, or my dad, you know, we was moving from apartment to apartment every other thing. I didn't have a room at times in my dad's house, but they didn't know what I was going through to even just had a space for us to share. But to them, they might be like, I remember we always had to sleep on on the couch, or we had to sleep in his room and he slept on the couch. Like, it was time. That's the reality. But in their interpretation, they might think they were slighted. In my interpretation, I was literally doing the best I could at being from a 16-year-old to 23-year-old to just being so young and having kids. So for me, the grace comes in at just knowing, like, every decision that was made wasn't to spite me. He was figuring this shit out. And for the kid that's spiting their dad that's trying to make amends for the absence, I mean, it just grow up. Like, just because appreciate your opportunity to be able to build. Appreciate the fact that he care enough, because it take a lot. It's not easy to walk back up after being gone for 20 years. And it's not easy to want to rectify. Like, it's not easy. Like, so for a person to develop the liquid courage to be like, you know what, let me try to fix the gap, or not even fill it, but just kind of build something moving forward, that alone deserves recognition. And it's going to take time to be 100% receptive. But I think that the door should be open. But if you're going to close the door, then he got every right to never knock again. And then that is at that point is justified. Because it's like, I tried. How many times do you think I'm going to be throwing rocks at your window trying to get you to come listen to what I got to say before I just say, because it's not on me to kiss your ass. It's not. We grown, we adults. My decisions, I have to live with what I did. I don't have to live to your standard of what I did to suffer because you want to make me, suffer. Like, no, we human.
What would be the grace that, should the parent also give the child a certain level of grace?
Oh, the parent got to try and understand that it's not going to be an overnight process. Like, you can't just put up one shot. Like, I threw the rock, threw the pebble. You heard it. You didn't say, no, you got to understand that you got work to do. And as long as they're not stonewalling you or just being a straight up asshole, like, I'm talking about, like, disrespectful. Because, of course, they might just be like, you're a stranger to them at the end of the day. And they got some resentment, and there's probably some parental, maternal perspective that they're carrying based on your absence that could possibly be influencing the way they see the situation. And you just got to be okay with working through all of that. You can say, look, I'm not telling y'all to forgive me today, but let's just start the process of understanding what I went through, and why I want to start the process of understanding what y'all went through. And then we can rationalize through this entire process. And I think that alone just creates progress. And as long as there's progress, the grace is in that development. But if it's not even I putting up attempt after attempt eventually, it's just like, you know what? Come around when y'all ready, and I'll be ready. And that's the part for the parent. You can't shut down. You can stop yet. You can slow down your efforts, but if they decide to come around 5 years and be ready and receptive, you still gotta, go through with it, because initially you are the proponent of the trauma or the absence based on your decisions. And we are parents, so we all gonna have to face that reality in some way or shape form. You might miss a recital, you might miss a graduation, something like, God willing, you attend everything. But I'm just saying, the event that you gotta work at the time, something might be a fucking practice and you can't make it. And she's like, yeah, but you didn't come to practice that one time. And you just like, the fuck? But you still just work through how you work through it, baby. I had to work. I had to do this so you can have shoes, or so you can have that. And it's always on us as parents to provide our children understanding no matter how old they are.
And it's funny because I even correlate me and my dad's, rehabbing our relationship to how you and your dad was, because one thing I've realized with my accounting of my adulthood is that, all right, my dad doesn't have certain natural strong suits. So if I, like, whether it's like, conversationalist type shit, whatever. So if that's naturally my bag and I'm annoyed about maybe his approach to conversation, but he's receptive to conversation, maybe I should be initiating shit more often, because that's not his bag, whatever. So
know your personnel.
Right. So I can think about you where it's like, you the one during that infamous Eagles game moment, you
initiated it.
You initiated. You said, no, we're going to do this. Man, we're not going to the home game. We're going to the away game, because maybe that's not even your dad's natural program to even coordinate all that. But that was
Dad never even been to the Eagles game.
Okay, got you. So but even like planning things, that even like, could you imagine him?
Nah, so I don't think he had no intention to reach out to me. I think it's a fear associated with, then you come home and I'm who I am, and it's just like you're hearing good things about your son, but you also think that I don't fuck with you. And I never said that, but I'm not reaching out to you. And sometimes parents feel entitled to kids reaching out.
Well, sure.
And it's like, they think that it's like, and that's why I said to your point, it's like, no, it's on us as parents to break the mold. The kid doesn't have to initiate, but the kid should be receptive. So for me, I did take the approach of initiating it And it was more so just to establish a precedent. Like, look, whatever you think I feel, I don't. I forgive you. I understand, you know, and I would at least want to hear your POV. If nothing else, that's what I want. And this is something that was said to me, alleged that you said, and I do want to unpack that because that did affect me. And those two elements was like clarified immediately. He said, what? My brother said that he said something. It was crazy because I'm going to punch him in his fucking face. That was the first thing he said. Then he like, yo, call him right now. Everything for him is like proving his point. Like, call him. Even with my mom, he was like, call her. Why you tell my son X, Y, and Z? And it saddened me in real time to hear my mom respond because she did not stand on business. She's going to watch this. And it's just the fact of the matter. She made the most adolescent, teenage, young girl voice I've ever heard. I've never heard my mom sound like a kid in her 60s. And she just was like, but I'm just like, yo, this is my real life y'all playing with.
Back to 94.
Yeah, like y'all playing with my real life. And then I took my mom to McCormick and Schmick's, and we had a conversation downtown. And I'm just like, you got to talk about this. Like, because I'm almost like mad at you. Like, I'm almost not even feeling you. Like, so what's going on? And she just looked me in my face and was like, son, I was young and hurt. He cheated on me. And, you know, I made some decisions that I could look back on and I could see. But at the time, you know, I did what I thought was best for my kids. And I said, ultimately, the decision she was made was right because if anything she do differently, I don't become who I am. So I can respect it. And the fact that she just straight up looked me in my face and was like, I was young. I had to give her grace. Like, you know what? You young, you head over hills for this guy. He just doing all this extra shit. He abusive, but at the same time, he love you. He loving hard, and it's like you trying to get back at him. Because I thought he didn't fuck with me. It didn't like people would say like, yo, like no, your dad love his kids. Like I don't know why you like my dad's side. Like man, no, that nigga don't. He don't fuck with. Because I always was told your dad crazy. He this, he that. But again, that's her POV. And then when I kind of got to the nitty gritty, I'm like, oh, you moved me because you knew it was going to hurt him. He said, yeah, I was kicking in doors. She took my son. Like, don't just try to make it like I'm out here kicking in people's doors on some other shit.
Because it's Wednesday.
Because it's a fucking Wednesday. You got my son. Like, what the fuck? And you not telling me where y'all live. There's no internet, no cell phones, no nothing. And all I'm going to is where the last known addresses, and I'm kicking. Yes, absolutely. And that was a violent crash out to me because like you got my kid. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the shit that my brother told me was just like he just basically said that like my dad said you can't have his number because you were gonna ask for too much shit. And my brother said, oh, I never told you I was playing. Oh no, I just didn't want you to have it because you was gonna be asking for too much shit. And I'm just like, damn, the two most things that was said to me that shaped my perspective of my dad wasn't even true. I had no choice but to give him grace because everything, my anger and animosity was built on a lie. People's pain. So when I tell people to go back and talk to their dad, it's not just to like he ain't a fucked up individual or he not a great individual. It's to at least hear his side. Yeah. And then make your ruling based on what he did. Because people are like, no, because when I did call my dad, he didn't answer that one time, so fuck him. But you also came from a perspective of you gonna pay for what you did to me and my mom. And you need to go into it from a clear perspective of let me act as if I want to reconcile so I can receive this clearly and without prejudice, essentially. No, not prejudice, without bias. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, did you account for him being receptive to your request?
Like
whether he did or not?
No, I didn't think it was an option. I think my approach was direct. I don't think I gave him. I think he was happy as fuck. Because he felt like, oh, my son don't not fuck with me. Because I led with that. I said, Dad, I'm a dad. I got baby moms. I know how they are. So like, let's talk man to man. Like you can't raise me. I'm here, but let's build a relationship, move forward. That was just how I approached it. I'm like fucking 29 at the time. Like it's over. Like, you're not raising me. Like I don't need you to come and try to be my dad. Just be man to man and be my dad. And it was crazy because even in that conversation, he still did things that made me feel like, oh, that's really my dad. And which I thought was dope. And I'm like, I didn't realize how much he reassured my inner child.
You can't
just by certain things he said. I was just like, I told him, I said, Dad, like, nigga, it was times like, you know, and that's when he was like, yo, he told my mom, like, damn, he's talking about his step pop. He told me, I wish I would have got a chance to meet him. He was, I wish I could have shook his hand because my dad never fucked with him. My dad used to threaten him from jail, all types of crazy shit. And he was like, I just wish I would have got the chance to meet him. And, you know, and I even told him, I was like, he was just like, yeah, well, he just said a few things to me that let me know. I was like, oh, all right, like, yeah, this is what I needed to hear at 12.
One of my close friend, he's having a kid right now, a daughter. Shout out to the girl dads.
Yeah, shout out to the girl dads.
Yeah, and he was saying something to me, saying, "Yeah, I don't know." He's watching something. Yeah, I don't know. It was real good. I don't know if I'm just super sensitive because the kid thing, whatever. Huh?
He said he's sensitive.
Yeah, I don't know. I was super sensitive too because I'm gonna become a father. This and that. I'm like, no, like dead ass. Like, you know, the cliche is, yo, once you have a kid, you start thinking, I gotta do this. Again, all that could be true, whatever. But I know one thing for me for sure. I'm definitely sensitive to any type of depiction story of father, parent, full circle reconnection. Yeah. You know, I'll be like, damn, that is it. Cause I think, you know, of course, when you have a kid, you naturally be
John
like,
Q, don't put John Q on.
Man, like,
see the happiness. Nigga Q gonna be balling tears.
But you know what? It don't even be shit like that. It be more so like real life, not dramatized situation, just like real life disconnection, like real life miscommunications. And how you said those two lies derailed your whole perspective of your own dad. And like that's unfortunate. Like, you know, like
for years, bro. And I made raps about this nigga.
Yeah.
like he's referenced.
Cleaning out my closet.
Yo, what I said, damn, I said so many things in raps about this nigga, bro. That's crazy.
And
not
more,
too many, probably like 3 raps.
Yeah, and more so you said, like that inner child being in touch with that. Cause I feel like no matter how old you get, no matter what, you have a parent.
Yeah.
And you can't escape the influence, the effects, the trauma,
the validation.
You can't escape it. So when I just see certain people say, no, because of my dad, I was this, or because he did, you know, I was telling Ricky about this doc I was watching, and this guy said, long story short, he was this coach's historic Olympic team. And it really broke him down to cut the last person on the team. And he said, because 20 years prior, he was the last person cut from the team. And when that team, he got cut, that team went on to win the fucking only gold medal of the only team in history at the time, whatever.
Crazy.
And he was watching with his dad, and his dad said, oh, I guess they cut the right person then. Fuck, crazy. Like, I'm just like, yo, something. And he said, that fucked with me for 20 fucking years. Like, I'm like, yo, like, that type, I'm like, damn, like, so those type of small idiosyncrasies, I'm like, damn, that resonates with me more now than it did prior to me, like, having a kid. Cause I can see, I be thinking about me and my daughter's interactions, and I think about me and my dad, like
that can scar somebody.
Yeah, like, you know, cause something your parents can say what weighs more than that.
Yo, I won't even get into it, but I'd be explaining, and I just have to say those things. Be like, you got to be mindful. Say to my kids, like, you know what I'm saying, because that stuff matters. Yeah, and like they will internalize it because the perspective of our parents is automatically valued, whether we want it to be or not. Until you have to break the mold and be like, you know what? Who cares what my mom or dad say if it's not conducive to my life? But as a kid, how the fuck you had the level of discernment to be able to say, my mom don't know what she's saying, or my dad don't know what he's saying. You actually internalizing. Like, if they be like, shut up, you sound horrible, and you singing. Like they say in the 4 Agreements, you're 9 times out of 10 gonna think you can't sing. And the whole time you have an amazing voice, and they just irritated that day. And there's a lot to work through. You gotta be careful what you say to your kids and what you spring on them, because those moments of disbelief or subtle, underhanded comments can literally shape their trajectory and their self-worth, belief, and esteem within themselves. So yeah, man, one of the things that I want to say, a quick pivot, and it was probably gonna be a question I posed. I was not even making a question. It was something I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, it's funny because and I really want to ask women this on like my platform, but I'll ask you, what was the you're a feminist? What was the most expensive thing a woman has ever done for you?
Most expensive thing?
Yeah.
A vacation.
A vacation. And what was the most romantic thing that a woman has ever done for you?
Probably some type of I've received some like customized type gifts, like they were like tailor made for me.
So the reason I want to say, I say like the funny thing about it is, if you see a lot of women's requests on the internet about the things that they want, right? And it's typically like being showered with so many gifts and experiences and things like that, right? And the funny thing is, the most expensive thing somebody has ever done for you is very rarely the most romantic thing. But it's like they're yearning for romance, but they asking for things that's like costly essentially, but it don't equate. And it's like, just putting that in perspective. It ain't necessarily like a big hole where I just literally came to that realization earlier, and I was like, yo, the most expensive thing someone has done for you is very rarely the most romantic, and the most romantic thing somebody has done for you is very rarely the most expensive. And if y'all just keep that in mind, man or woman, you'll realize that most people chasing their tail in the wrong direction. If you want to feel appreciated and validated, or assured, or just loved, it's better to take the romantic approach. And most of the time, it's inexpensive. So you don't have to adhere to the expensive request, fellas. Just be a little intentional about romance. And what romance look like is intentionally knowing the things that move their emotional needle forward, not necessarily just the things that because a lot of the time they just see things and want things because other people posted it.
No,
what was I about to say?
Because they children.
I mean, that's a part of it too. They group thinkers. They're not individual thinkers.
Yeah, shiny.
Yeah, so ignore that shit. Focus on the romantic side. Like I said, that just was something that I was going to take a poll.
I like it.
And I'm still going to take a poll. But
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. I'm going to take a survey. We're going to strike that from the record, Bob. Yeah, I'm going to take a survey, but I just wanted to present it to see if it was going to connect. And
how about you?
The most expensive thing, and I should have been prepared to answer this because I asked the question, but I don't even think it's been. The most expensive thing that any woman have did for me probably came from just my female friends, the women I've dealt with. I mean, no, my ex didn't give me her taxes $4,000 one time. My first girl, we was young too. It might have been $7,000. No, it was $7,000.
Not the romantic, but
it was $7,000. No, it was expensive.
Husky.
And I fucked him up. Didn't flip him right. So it definitely was costly. That $7,000 never went back to sender. But the most romantic thing was definitely custom shit. Customized for me, always gonna take the cake.
I got
every relationship. I would say not every, but in some dating experiences, I still got some of the stuff
me too.
that was given to me. I don't throw no customized shit away.
Me too.
And that always is romantic to me. Taking me. I was took to Disney World one time. That was dope. I got penned. I'm an author. I got this little clock that said you're a leader. All that type of stuff. Father's Day gifts. That'd be the stuff for me.
Yeah, I had a girl one time. I'll say the gift. So, like I mentioned, I'm, have film aspirations, whatever. So, the thing on the set where you do the cut thing. Yeah. So, the first script I ever wrote, she got that customized with my name on it, the name of the movie on the cut thing. And I'm like, damn, fire.
It never made the cut, but that's fire.
Shout out to her.
That's for you pausing me.
Ass nigga. Scott's good. Slight pivot, though.
What would answer that question too, though? Write us in the comments and let us know, man. What was the most romantic and what was the most expensive? And I just want to see if any of these connect. Because I'll take the over. I'll take the under that they will.
Yeah, I'm with you. Slight pivot. What would be your advice to someone? You've spoken you spoke on different levels about friendship, navigation, whatever, for good and bad. What would be your advice to people that maybe have dealt with or are dealing with friends they feel are jealous of them? And I've having a conversation with somebody and we was going through a situation. And I was like, yeah, me personally, let's say somebody was going through a down period and they maybe couldn't really deal with your success because they going through something. So your success is kind of fucking them up, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, again, me personally, I can understand on the psychological level that, people go through shit, this and that, whatever, but I can't fuck with you though. Because everybody go through shit. I done been through shit, and I've never in my life had to think, damn, what for Ricky? Nah, that's you, and I'm happy for you. No matter what, I can't just be well, I can't embrace it. So if you have that energy towards me, to me, you liable to do anything or be on anything. So I can't fuck with that or feel comfortable around you like that, especially if it was noticeable, it was a noticeable shift in your energy,
Yeah, but I think so. The caveat, as you would say, to the whole situation is when you're speaking at a level of energy, I think that it's natural for humans to feel, whether you want to say envy or jealousy. I think it's definitely two different things. I think envy is more common in friendships than jealousy. I think jealousy is a way stronger emotion.
Okay.
And it identifies differently than envy. I think jealousy is I want what you have. Envy is I wish I had something like that for myself. And that little...
Is envy healthy?
I can't say it's healthy, but it's inevitable.
Okay.
I think siblings go through it, friends go through it. It's natural to see somebody progressing and be motivated, but at the same time want it for yourself. I think that the ultimate determining factor on how to play the situation comes down to how it's expressed. If it's expressed like hate, not hate, I fucking hate you, but just underhand comments and just subtle, discrediting, then that's when it becomes distant. Damn, I love you, but I got to distance myself because you are actually displaying the feeling. But the thought itself or the energy, the distance disconnect don't necessarily move me, because I believe that it's natural for somebody to not be where they want, to have thoughts about, damn, man, I wish I could have that as well for myself. It's different when they be like, I don't want you to have it. Because jealousy is almost like, I don't want you to have it. I'm mad that you got it. Whether I got it or not, I don't want you to have it. Where I look at it as envy, is like, damn, I wish I had that type of bike. Or I wish I was able to do that. I wish I could dunk like that. And it's not that they don't want you to be able to do it. It's just like, I want to be able to do it as well. Whereas the jealousy is like, I'm mad as fuck you could do it. So when they talk about friendship jealousy, I think you got to really teeter the details of what side of the fence it falls on. Is it jealousy or is it envy? And if it is jealousy, then I do think it's something that you definitely should remove yourself from, because that's when it's like, oh, you legitimately just don't want me to win. But when it's envy, it's like you might see somebody be like, you tell them, oh, I just got a promotion. And they're like, oh, damn, I'm happy for you. But you don't feel like they're happy for you. That could just be not personal. It's just like they might be literally going through a sense of like internalizing, like, damn, but like I'm happy for them, but damn, I got to get myself together, and like literally fall into a slight depression. And I think that's extremely common. Like people, because at the end of the day, nobody want to be left behind, right? So if you in fifth grade with your friends and everybody going to graduate and you stuck in the fifth grade, you happy as fuck, but how happy could you really be? Like, let's start being honest with ourselves. How happy can a motherfucker really be and their life is in shambles? So the thing that you can hope for is that they send their happiness, but they keep their energy away from you. Like, yo, you know what? I have to get myself together, because I don't want my realizing that I'm fucking whatever, I'm lacking and I'm on bullshit to rub off on you. But I am genuinely happy for you. I just got to get myself together. And I think people often want that extra sense of like, people want, I told you, friends versus fans. They want you to cheer. Oh my gosh, good shit. Oh my fuck, good shit. And it's like, yeah, we could do that. But at the same time, if a person is not in a place to do that because they're mentally depressed or whatever the case may be, I'll give them grace for the fact that as long as you're not standing in my way, I'm cool. As long as you're not rooting against my plans, I'm cool. As long as you sending some type of congratulations, I'm okay with that. It don't got to be a fucking parade every single time I accomplish something. But as long as I know deep down inside that if you was up for it, you would celebrate me in that manner, I'm cool with that. But if you just flat out, the moment I tell you I'm on something, you just don't want it to go right, or you a heavy I told you so when shit not going right, that's when I'll be like, all right, yeah, you just don't fit my program as a friend. Like, and I think that that's not as common. Like, that's like, it happens, but it's like the shit that people would say, yo, they friends are jealous, is because they didn't get the receptivity of their delivery. And it's like, you want somebody to throw you a parade because and then you got to be happy for yourself. Like, when it's all said and done, like, as long as your friends is not rooting against you, obviously, or doing things behind your back or talking about you and things that ways is getting back to you, you got to be happy enough for you to where though nobody else's claps matter. It's just extra applause. Like, you already got to be doing this for yourself. So anything that they do is just like a round of applause. Is extra. It's not something that's going to make or break the friendship, because like, you ain't clapping loud enough. It's like what the fuck? Like, give them credit for the fact that they actually are clapping versus booing, essentially. And it's not to say we're going to let bare minimum praise or bare minimum applause go. It's just to say that if a person is genuinely not in a space to be able to celebrate you, don't assume they being jealous. Allow jealousy to reveal itself and act accordingly. Don't diagnose it prematurely. That's my point.
Fair enough. Yeah. One quick question before we get out of here. Briefly, before we I asked you about the most fun 3 years of your life. I thought it was a very interesting answer you had, and to give you context, my theory is that no matter how old you get, how successful you get, whatever, I think there's something about like adolescent, like young adult time frame that we know things are simplified, no responsibility, no pressure, oftentimes, whatever. You don't got shit really that figured out. You just going with the vibes. Your friends don't got that much shit going on. Your environment's kind of stabilized. I think that's when most people probably have like their most fun in life.
Yeah, I to your point, I believe 100% because you could literally just, it's like when you used to be able to just be at your friend's house all day without a worry in the world, and it carries into early adulthood. But once everybody started to navigate their own space and paths, it's inevitable that there's going to be a decline in that because every link up becomes intentional. Like, you can't just like, what you doing today, bro? I'm about to pull up on you. Like, when the last time you just hit your homie up and said, I'm about to pull up on you? That does not happen. Like, in your 30s, you do not just call your friends and be like, what you doing? I'm about to pull up on you. You're like, nigga, why? Like, I even want company today? Like, even if my friends did do that.
That's my one day I was off.
No, don't pull up on me. But when you're younger, it's kind of like you kind of grouped, and it's like more, I don't want to use the word gang in that sense, but it's like, yeah, it's like we ganged up, like we all together, like we mobbing. That's a better term. We all mobbing together essentially. And I would say any 3-4 year stretch during that time frame. I originally mentioned like the amount difference, because I've done different pursuits, so there's always fun in those endeavors, but I just didn't look at it like, yo, this 3 years was just back to back to back, banger at the banger at the banger. But ultimately, that season of being able to just be with my friends in totality, you know, was a good job. But I also enjoyed family fun too. Like, it's like, that's what I'm saying. This shit, for me, I look at everything so individual and isolated that I would never group it. But when you said something like, I don't know if you said college or high school, that made sense. I'm like, I can see how, because it was a 3 year stretch where I'm like, no, it just wasn't consecutive. It's like, like, it's like, you know, so, but ultimately it was waves of like, yo, that was a great wave.
But also thought I was going to get to, I also thought it was interesting. You said, but no, Q, you probably just don't realize that the more people have, they just having different type of fun though.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So
cause I mean, but that was like a second tier point. You talking about when I was saying like, you was like, as you start to
yeah, I'm like, I was saying the more people have. Yeah, of course.
You was like, it's not as fun. Yeah,
like they still having fun, but I think when things were a little more simplified, they was having more fun was my argument. Yeah. And you was like, no, they still having fun. It's different kind of fun. Like,
because it become more exclusive. So the more money you make, the more notable you become, the more exclusive, the more you value exclusivity. So before, where you could just go anywhere and be like, yo, this shit is lit down South Street. This shit is lit on Broad Street. We lit at the whatever. We down here at the club is lit. When you start to become more of a notable and prominent person, you like, I just can't fucking go to South Street. I'm not just going to Broad Street. I'm not just. So now it's like, okay, how do we find fun? You curate it. You create exclusive environments, and I'm not talking about that type of exclusive environment. I'm just saying there's a little bit more elevated of an experience where everybody just can't have access, because you want to be able to unwind, let your guard down, and be able to just enjoy your peers versus having to be feeling like I'm enjoying myself, but somebody's looking to create. Look at him over there drinking, and look at this person over there smoking, or look at this person over there shaking their ass, or look at this person dancing with the person that's shaking their ass. You want to go back to that time where you didn't have to worry about those things. And the only way to do that is to invite other prominent people essentially into that atmosphere, people that respect privacy. They don't have to necessarily be notable, but just people that understand how to carry themselves in an exclusive manner. Again, not that type of exclusive, but just exclusive nonetheless. You gotta be careful now. these environments you
qualify. How exclusive is it?
What type?
What's the wait?
Paperwork being signed? No.
What time is it?
Not that exclusive, but ultimately, yeah. And that was a valid assessment that you made. But I was like, oh no, I don't want you thinking like popular people not having fun. It's just you just don't know where it's taking place. Again, be careful why you say these things. It's not
I don't want to go there.
Yeah, certain ones, yeah. But you know, I'm not privy to that world, so I only know the fun of like, you know, we might say, yo, let's go to do bowling, and it's like some shit we texting everybody, yo, look, meet us here at this time, and we're gonna find the most out the way bowling alley to go have fun at, but we still having the same amount of fun we would have had if we went to the most littest bowling alley. It's just amongst our people in a safe space, essentially. That's what it really come down to, creating that safe, familiar space with people that's gonna be able to enjoy themselves as well, and nobody's in there trying to create content of, look who I'm around, look who I'm with, look what we doing. It's like, nah, we just all kind of vibing, chilling, and being human.
Same wavelength.
Same frequency, same, you know, overall ground to stand on, essentially.
Gotcha. I think we can land it there then.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I had any.
You got in the tuck.
Yeah. I was going to talk about this, like, see, and I don't like going into like philosophies that I haven't went all the way through. I was going to say. Let me see. This would have been a good topic. But I mean, I don't care to talk about cheating. I got so many points that I ain't touch on none of my talking points. That's crazy. But we still did good though. I don't know. I was just gonna say, relationships start failing when people start aiming for perfect, and I feel like relationships used to work because people made them work and not searching for perfect. Whereas though now people searching for perfect, so now the relationship's not even working. And like, even if it goes to the whole balance of trying to be super inclusive in every area of roles instead of just keeping them established. Like when men had certain responsibilities, when women had certain responsibilities, relationships wasn't perfect, but they worked. When, you know, men went out and was cool with paying all the bills and women was cool with heading the household, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. Like when women held themselves to a certain standard and how they wanted to present themselves, just regardless of how a man presented himself, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. So in every situation, when I look at it, it's like we got to get back to making things work and stop aiming for perfect, because trying to reinvent the wheel is why the wheel was flat. Just let the shit be what it is. Like, we talk about the old days of what our grandparents was able to create wasn't fucking perfect, but they made it work. Like, it wasn't material, it wasn't transactional, it was duty bound. It was, we have a duty to show up for this family regardless of what Charles is doing and regardless of what fucking Margaret is doing. Regardless of how Charles and Margaret feel about each other. The Browns, and these are names I'm just making up, the Browns family has to exist, and we have to build. And Charles might have went and had another baby, and Margaret might have did the same fucking thing. Because we're not going to act like men was the only ones bringing them fucking babies. Men went to the army in Vietnam and was coming home to kids. Like, who the fuck is this? This is a true story. I have facts to back it up. And I don't have a lot of them, but I'm telling you, like, I know some cases. And
I went through my family tree.
Yeah, so shit get real. And the fact of the matter is, they wasn't perfect, but they made it work. And in totality, that's just how I come to realize. I'm like, that's the big gap in the health and success of relationships. People are not satisfied with the relationship working. They are literally not okay with coasting. They are not okay with coexisting. They are like, but we don't do this, or yeah, but you don't do that, or yeah, but you're not this, or I'm not that, or and that's what's making everybody feel like they're being slighted. When in reality, if you got a working, functioning relationship, keep it working. Don't go for perfect. So, I'll say that.
Yeah, I won't split hairs. Cause I think to me, every time someone brings up the old days, it always can get kind of a little tricky. Like, whoa, my grandma, that was some shit. So I get it, whatever. But that's the whole thing. But I think where you landed with you, because I think one of the best things you also ever said on the show was your equation of the
20, 10.
Yeah, I think that kind of ties to that.
100%.
Yeah, so I think overall, I can't disagree with that.
And real quick, since we talking about people bringing up the old days, listen. I'm tired of every generation.
All right.
Ours, the generation before us of the past, that keep saying like the good old days, or this when music was good, or this when life was better. You think? You were in a better space. You had less responsibilities. These things meant a lot to us and you that's watching this. But it's not to say that it's not equally as enjoyable for the kids that are enjoying it right now in real time, for their logic of whatever they're experiencing based on what they're being presented. They don't know life before social media, but that don't mean that they're not enjoying life with social media. We know life before social media, and we feel the nostalgia of the 90s and the early 2000s and the things we were able to do. But because they never had it, they can't be deprived of it. So when y'all say, man, y'all don't know what y'all missed out on. Of course they don't know what they fucking missed out on, because it didn't exist for them. I don't know what it's like to have a fucking dinosaur as a pet. But I'm not deprived of it because I never was exposed to having a fucking dinosaur as a pet. So with that being the case, there are things that existed that just don't exist now, that these kids don't give a fuck about, because to them it was never the reality. If you never had you never was wealthy, you don't know what it's like to have money. So you can't say, oh, you missed out on so much shit that money could have did, because although in theory it sounds logical, it's not actually applicable, because somebody can't process or rationalize something that they never had. I don't know if I missed out on a certain type of food that I never tried because I never had the shit. You know from experience what it was like for you, and it's significant. The 90s is significant for us because we are 90s babies. The 80s is significant. The 70s is significant for the people that grew up in those eras. But the 2020 fucking what's the letter they on right now?
No idea.
The new generation don't have to give a fuck about it because it never existed for them. And I be sitting back like, yo, they be like, yeah, man, y'all just don't know. Y'all just understand, man. These were the good old days. You were in high school. Of course it was the good old days. You were in middle school. Of course it was the good old days. You were a fucking kid. These were our good old days. And they're going to have the same fucking philosophy 10, 15, 20 years from now about 2020, 2025, 2026 being the good old days. And they're going to have the same experience. But we be sitting here trying to belittle the new everything as if ours was better. Of course it was better to us. It was ours. Like, we hold it near and dear. It's the whole Jordan versus LeBron debate, Brady versus Joe Montana, Steve Young. All of these things exist because those people were prominent figures at a time that takes you back to nostalgia. But these people are going to have, these new kids are going to have their favorite own rappers and athletes and things that create their culture for them to look back and have nostalgia. Because in 2006, when we was experiencing this shit, our parents was telling us, but you don't know what the 80s was like. Oh, you don't know what 91 was like. Of course I don't know what 91 was like. I wasn't born yet. You feel what I'm saying? But
so overall, I agree with you where I've embraced and accepted old head, get off my lawn. I'm definitely that guy. Get off my lawn. And I don't even care to be like, what is that? What is that racket music? No, it's not for me. Totally fine with that. Yeah. However, like I don't try to compare. No, this clearly for y'all. It's not for me. I don't care to even try. Like, cool. However, I do think some things are better though.
Of course you do.
That's why, even though 80s wasn't our time, we can still say the 80s is great music though. I do think. All right.
I'm not saying
okay. So again, I don't care to say y'all should love the 80s too, but I think there's like a gray area of the overall discussion. And some shit is just great though.
No, I think that the part that we miss,
certain shit transcends.
No, I think the part that we missing is not about us agreeing that 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, any previous generation had good shit about it. It's of the projection that they're not enjoying what they have now because they missed out on the 90s.
Yeah, that's a wild.
And I'm saying like it's impossible for them to feel deprived of something they never
had.
They
love their current times. I think that's an interesting concept. If you think about some like dystopian type Black Mirror type shit, if there's a time in the future where like it's some meter, some fucking historian research shit like, oh, we've done the research. This current generation of teenagers hate their current conditions of media, whatever. Like,
but I don't see that being. That'd be wild.
Like, they hate their
but
music.
that's how it's portrayed and projected as if the kids have to hate their new reality because they didn't grow up playing tag, hide, go seek, manhunt, and it's like. They don't know what it's like. They don't give a fuck. It's just as much as we didn't give a fuck about the shit that they did in the 70s. For sure. Why would I give a fuck about some shit you did in the 70s?
We had PlayStation. I didn't give a fuck. We didn't have Pac-Man.
The fuck? Like, or Atari. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I got an Xbox. Like,
absolutely.
And when you look at it from that perspective, it's not to take away from our nostalgia and the things that we enjoyed. It's just to separate the classes. Like, oh, man, you ain't go there when I went there. When I tell you Miss Jones was the principal, it was way different. I don't even understand this new guy. You're not a fucking student.
You're 36.
You're 36. Ricky took that person out of all the ages too. But no, all in all, so I just say that for our generation and the generations prior to just understand that them kids appreciate their time and we don't have to agree with it or like it, and we can still value ours, but we don't have to think that they're not appreciating theirs. And it took for me to have conversations with my kids and nieces and shit to realize I'm like, they literally don't give a fuck, like because they only know what they know. And if you don't know, like they're like, yeah, when I used to, you've been walking your whole life. When we used to have a car, boy. Mom, we've been walking. Like, I can only imagine. Like, I'm pretty sure that was dope. Like,
sounds dope.
Sounds extremely dope. But
cool story, bro.
My calves are strong from this fucking shit. Like, type shit. Or in reverse, we didn't have a car. We had to walk. And it was, all right, well, I'm about to catch this Uber.
Sorry for you.
That's what the kid, because I was even like, damn, the kids don't know how to catch something. But it's like, do they really have to know how? Like, do I really need to know how to read a map?
Absolutely not.
You get what I'm saying? That's parent like, yo, y'all kids, what would y'all do if y'all phone died? Like what? Like I'm not gonna allow that to happen. Like they have battery packs, they have all types of shit. So it's like you're trying to force me to learn how to read a map because you had to read a map that way. No, technological advances made that different.
When I see people read math, I'm like, you're a genius.
You're a super genius. I don't know how the fuck you got home. Like the fuck, yeah, like ice cream from scratch. It's like, okay, like churn, baby, churn. Pause.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was super easy. Nah, you ain't see the reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we could actually landed at, man. I just kind of wanted to address that.
I like it.
Because it was something that just when you mentioned the old generation shit, I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to say that for 75 episodes. So I'm glad I reminded myself. Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, man, y'all already know, man, we don't want these conversations to end here. We want them to start here. So don't allow this conversation to rest on your desk or just rest in your mind unless you're internalizing, reflecting, and using it to apply it to your growth. We want you to take this conversation to your coworkers, take it to your friends, your family, your spouse, your children. But more importantly, where do we want this conversation to go, Q?
To yourself.
To yourself, because he's about to tell you something else.
And the comments.
Yeah, but take the conversation to yourself. And like I just said, reflect and figure out what's applicable, apply what applies, and then reserve what doesn't until it do. And yeah, with all that being said, man, big shout out to our sponsors. Wondering who care?
We care.
We care. Get with We Care Home Health Agency for all of your home care and healthcare needs, both skilled and non-skilled, from pediatric all the way up to senior care. They're serving Philadelphia and all surrounding counties in Pennsylvania. So there's no shortage of coverage if you're watching this in the PA area. And if you got any questions, just hit them up. Like if you got any questions, need more information, call 267-940-8509. Once again, that's 267-940-8509. And if you do decide to move forward, just make sure you let them know that Wolf sent you, Q sent you, and that you were referred by the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. With that being said, you already know where to find me, man, at Wolf WSC. You already know where to find the network at wolfnetwork.wsc. You can find the podcast on the Wolf Network YouTube channel, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast, and on all audio download platforms, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. Where can you find you, Q?
Ryan Q Live as on the right side on QUE Live.
Y'all can find my guy, Ricky B. Philly, at Ricky B. Philly. And yeah, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. Comment, subscribe, share. And just continue to get 1% better every single day and every single way. And as always, until next time, man, the Wolf Has Spoken. Let's get it.
Yeah.